What's up out there, everybody? This is your boy, comedian Marlon Ballard with the Love to Laugh podcast. I'm joined by very, very special guest, Group Divine. We are joined by Nikki, Bratcher, and Kia Thornton. Give it up for them. Yeah. Shout out to Tanya. You know, Tanya, she's not feeling good, but I wish you, good health, good wealth. Stay safe out here, people. How are y'all doing?
Awesome.
Good.
That's
Living
good.
Yes.
Good.
The best way we can during these times. We're still pushing.
And y'all still look young. Like that is cocoa butter and Jesus right here. That's what I'm talking about.
Come on now, vitamin C for the skin. Don't play.
Hyaluronic acid, retinol, serum. Thank you. But black don't crack. Right?
That's for sure, Nick.
You're right. Black don't crack unless you do crack. So that's where we're gonna keep it. Nobody's doing
Right.
that. Yo, I'm glad to have you guys on my podcast. Y'all are amazing voices, amazing talent. I remember having y'all's cassette when I was in school, so that's how long ago it feels because nobody has cassettes anymore. So I remember having it.
No.
So how does it feel, to have that song have like a big legacy to it? Because everybody remembers it.
You want to go?
I mean, just like probably any other artist that has a number one hit, it's almost like unbelievable. You only dream about it. You never thought that would be you. Some just never really. They only have that dream and never realized that can actually come true. And for us, it did, and touched so many lives. You wouldn't even believe like the stories that we received coming from our fans about lately. So I think it touched their lives more than it did ours. We were actually living this dream, but here they are listening to our song on the radio, and they're like. Reminding them of people from your past and loved ones and that they moved on from, and it just makes you feel really good. And even today, thinking back, it's like wow, like we're a part of history. I mean, I'm sitting here and I have my little shrine here, and I have this book. I built this Billboard 100 hits book, number one hits book, and I have it. I have it. Mott's straight part of history. This is us. Like this is so dope. So like I'm a mom now, and I look when I do like mom things, but every now and then I look back and I look at this book and I'm like, yo, this is amazing. Like we're right next to Celine Dion. So yeah, so I think that explains it.
Yeah, I mean, I would say, we talk about other music that's out there that transcends generations, right? But the truth of the matter is lately has transcended generations.
Right.
Like just when I was getting ready for this call, my 4-year-old was like, Mom, what's your favorite song? And I said, you know what, Marie, I really don't know. She was like, I'll tell you my favorite song. And she started singing Lately. You know what I mean? So it's like, here I am, a certain age, I have teenagers, and then now I also have a 4-year-old, and she loves Lately the same way we loved Lately when we were coming up. So it really does make me feel special as a mom, but also to know that we really did put our imprint on the music industry, and we really did make history. So it's a big thing.
Absolutely.
Oh my God, that is amazing. And I read y'all were fresh out of high school when that song blew up.
Yeah, straight up. We were like even like 14 and 15 when we got our record deals or something like that. Like we were going hard, and then straight out of high school, and here we go with this. Our first video was really amazing. Oh
my God.
Yeah, I remember we were traveling to Oakland to record One More Try, and it was spring break. And, our managers were like, well, just so you know, you guys are not going back. We're headed to LA to record the video. We have video shoots. We have all this stuff going on. And we did not go back home. And it was like, what? I got to call my mom. And, they didn't have cell phones back then. I think we were doing, well, maybe they did have cell phones, but we didn't have cell phones. We were so young. We were doing calling cards, purchasing calling cards all over the place, trying to get back, calling our parents and stuff like that, let them know that we were, it was a huge deal. And to be so young, knowing all of the craziness that happens in the world, we were out there in the world at a very young age, just making it
Yeah.
happen.
So how did y'all meet? Were y'all high school together or?
No, we were all auditioned. Kia was first in the group.
Yeah, it's a long story. It was like a local thing. I live in a town called Inglewood, New Jersey, Bergen County, right outside of New York City, over the bridge. And it was a local thing. So a management company over here I knew, and they teamed up with, I believe Spencer teamed up with Nathan, and they're like, hey, we got a girl. And then we started to, they knew a producer. The producer knew Nikki. It's just kind of like, it just was like nepotism.
Yeah, and I'm from Irvington, so the producer. I mean, not the producer. Well, the producer's from Inglewood, but our manager was from Brooklyn. So he told him about me, and he came all the way to Irvington. And I remember just singing for him in my living room, and my stepfather was there, and I just sang, and he was like, "You're in the group."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, thank you." It was pretty cool. And then not too long after, and I'll just tell you this little side story. My stepfather used to drive this big yellow Cadillac, like he was like this, DJ. And I just remember him taking me to that very first rehearsal in this big yellow Cadillac all the way up to Inglewood, and I met the girls, and we just clicked from there. It was really cool.
It was really like we grew up together, like we've always known each other, And so that was the cool thing about it being auditioned, because we just made it happen. Just, we all wanted it so badly that it was just like, this is meant to be.
Awesome. So what how did y'all come up with the name Divine? Nikki, you take this one.
Our manager had the name prior. And so he always tells this story. He had a dream about a girl group named Divine, and then, so we just kind of like filled the slot. So the name was already there as we formulated the group.
Got you. Okay. And y'all had an image about y'all, like y'all had like a young, we're fresh out of high school, like look like y'all were innocent. Y'all had a very innocent look to y'all. So whose idea was like to keep y'all in that image? Or did y'all want to go outside that image and do something else after, you blew up?
So I have to say that I hated our image. Like, I totally just did not like it. But, Nick knows that too. Like, it wasn't what was happening at the time, in our time. We were ahead of our time. So I believe that was that Nathan and Jill's idea and management?
Yeah. I mean, we're young city girls. We wanted to look like the girl next door. And it's not that they didn't want us to look like the girl next door, but we really did have to become trendsetters.
Yeah.
So we had to bring something to the table, and our image was one of the vehicles that they used to set us apart from other groups. Because remember, there were other groups out at that time. That was the era of all girl groups, guy groups, all of that stuff. So what was going to make Divine different? So we had this eclectic look about us. Like you said, the innocence was there, and we really didn't look like anyone else. And we had some really, in-depth conversations about our image with others outside of our camp. And, like, remember Miami, Kia, when, we were in Miami and that whole thing went down. Like, it was this whole thing, this promoter came up to us and was like, "What's up with y'all image?" And we were like, "What?"
We had to defend it. Even though I didn't believe in it, I wasn't going to let anybody else, we had to defend it. But I can say, piggybacking off what Nikki said, we had to be trendsetters, and we were. And you look back now, like I look at pictures of us from London and in different countries we did photo shoots in, and I'm like, that was hot. Like, wow, they really hooked us up. It was a picture we did, a photo shoot we did in London, where they took what do you call it, from the jeans. They cut the top of the jeans off and they made it like a choker. And they like fringed it, and I was like a choker. And it's like on this whole jean thing, this whole jean look. And at the time, like, what is going on here? You know, but you realize later, like, they knew what they were doing, you know?
Yeah, and then you would see other artists after us embracing that same image. Yeah, like our video, like some of the elements of our video were just copied, like what we had on, and it filtered over to other artists. And if Tanya was on this call, she'd tell you exactly who it was. We're not gonna say it, but yeah. So at that point, we started to realize, like, oh, we have something here, and there was just a look to Divine, and that it took us a while to accept it, but that's just how it is when you're a new artist, and you have your own perception of how you want to be, and then the label has a perception of how they want you to be. So we were young at that time, but at the end of the day, it's who we were.
Right. And it worked.
It worked, even though you hated it, Kia.
Yeah, it worked. I gotta respect it. It worked, man. I was like, all right, I'm cool with it.
But that's a good thing, because like when you look at y'all's image, like you can take y'all anywhere. Like that image is acceptable anywhere. We didn't have to censor y'all. We didn't have to do nothing. So that's great looking back on it.
Absolutely, and it helped. I think it helped a lot with us crossing over. We weren't just urban anymore. I mean, we wasn't just a 3-girl group, the 3 Black girls, playing on urban radio. Like, we crossed over to pop radio, and that had a lot to do with it too.
Tell me about the filming of the Lately video, because all I can think about was y'all being in that forest, that lush area, and I'm like, do they have off spray? Because I know they're getting ate up by mosquitoes. They have to be.
I don't remember getting ate up by mosquitoes though, did we, Nick? I know it was really hot. Hot, and
it was 100.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy. And they had these big water bugs out there. Like, it was sick.
Where was
we were down in the bayou, right? Same backdrop as East Bayou. We were in the bayou, in the swamp. That's where we were, and it was 106 degrees almost every day that we filmed, and it was burning hot. That I do remember.
Yeah.
Whose idea was?
We did get a chance to go down in New Orleans, and that main.
The idea came from what was his name? The guy that shot the video, the producer of the video. I believe it was his idea. Akua? Yeah.
Akua.
He did the treatment.
Because I have his info.
He did the treatment. Yeah. We were actually in, like, where were we on? Like a little boat? We were actually like in the water, moving on a little raft. Like, it was sick.
So
and we were like on a plantation
for it, where y'all like, house. Okay, we're in the swamp. Cool. Was anybody against it?
No.
I don't know. I don't think anybody was against it. No, it was like, it was a new experience and something we've never done before. So we really didn't have any qualms about shooting that video, except for the outfits. Now, I remember the outfits. Yeah, where'd you have one of those? Who had on the gloves? Was it Tanya with the gloves? Tanya with the gloves.
I had these 2 ponytails sticking out of my hair. Like, it was just.
Right. And I had that beanie cap on. I was like, come on, nobody gonna know who I am if I wear this hat. Like, I can't wear this hat.
Yeah, we had boas and everything. It was just.
Boas. Oh my God, the boas.
Now, when y'all
boas. I forgot about the boas.
That was the complete.
Let me tell you a story about the. That was the glamour side of it. So we did appreciate One More Try, because we had makeup on. We did have outfits that were more trendy. But again, same thing. It was always a conversation about what we were wearing in that video, the same as it was for Lately.
Yeah.
So when you did One More Try, George Michael cover, did he reach out to y'all and he was like, good job, or did y'all never hear from him?
I don't think so. I mean, maybe Ruben spoke with him, but I'm not sure. Do you know?
Gotcha. Because a lot of people that do
I
covers,
think that was the
usually the
conversation
original
with
artist will
that
reach
Ruben had.
out and be like, "Yo, I like that. That's a great job." But some people don't, and now we may never know. But it was a great cover. It's very hard to do covers because like some people mess it up, but y'all murdered that,
Thank you.
and that's why I say y'all are a vocal
Thank
powerhouse.
you.
Thank you so much.
No problem. So
Thank you. We
Yeah.
appreciate it. Yeah, I wanted.
mhm, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was going to say that, we had an advantage working with Ruben because he originally worked the George Michael album. So because of that, he already had the relationship there. So it was easy for
Right.
us.
Okay. So y'all album came out with 96, 97, that around that time, correct?
98, 99,
98, 99. Okay.
98.
98, 99, 98, 99, yeah.
So y'all had the album. So what was supposed to happen after that album? Were y'all supposed to do another one, or was it a one and done type of situation?
Nick, go ahead, Nick.
Oh my God. How much time do we have?
We
Okay,
have time.
I'll start. So it was always our intention to do a follow-up album. We were actually recording that follow-up album. We were working with Toby Gad on, those records. And, Toby did a lot of Jordan Sparks, Jasmine Sullivan, Beyonce. Back then he was, really getting his footing. And it's funny that you asked about the name Divine. So the name Divine came to our managers, but they never did their due diligence as far as making sure that name was locked down. So as we began to perform and all of that stuff, we did get sued for the name Divine, actually by a group in Atlanta somewhere. So we couldn't continue on with that name. So everything that we built, we could not continue with just Divine. So you would see our CDs and everything pulled from the stores because we could no longer distribute the record under that name. We did change from one record label to the next. We had new distribution from BMI to EMI, but the problem was at that time we had other situations, around that was happening at that time. So we were, in addition to like recording, we also disbanded for a short while because we were going through a transition as a group. So even though we had music and we wanted to come out with a follow-up album, there were just a lot of, at that point, legal issues and stuff like that, which didn't materialize our second album.
You have it. And
There was,
yeah.
yeah, there was a lot. There was a lot. And, and I just remember, presenting to this group, our people presenting to this group that said, listen, these girls really worked hard. How about, we still pay you whatever the settlement was, and they keep the name. And they were like, no, but no one knows them, and no one still
No one
knows
knows
them.
them.
People still know us. And at that point it was okay. It was like no big deal. We would go ahead and change the name or whatever we had to do. But then there were other issues that arise
Yeah.
after that. So, but that was really the main reason why we did not come out with the second project right away at all.
And if y'all were to, come up with another name and go by that, did y'all already brainstorm what y'all would call yourselves?
Yes, all the time. All the time. We talk
Yeah.
about it all the time. Even till this
We
day.
had we tried. I think we had like Forever Divine, and we had like one or two. But we still think about it. Something that'll really
Yeah.
stick for us.
So after Divine, Nikki, you started a family. Obviously, did you keep writing? Did you keep performing solo? What did you do?
Yeah, I was actually doing some writing at the time. I landed a song on Royce the 5'9". He was at I can't remember what label he was on. And his first single or second single or something like that, I co-wrote. And then we also co-wrote on, what was it, 8 Mile soundtrack with Eminem. So I was just out doing some writing at the time, and that was like keeping me going. And next thing you know, I got pregnant. And I was like, okay, well, I'm older now. The group is not really performing. I could do this. So I had my first child, and then 6 months later, I was pregnant again. And I'm like, shoot. And, but those are blessings that you just won't give back. You know what I mean? When you have your kids. So that was, at that time, that became my priority, my kids.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. That's great. And Kia, you auditioned for American Idol.
Oh my God, you brought that up. That's cool. You know what? I'm going to keep it all the way 100. So during that time when Divine disbanded, like I was still writing on my own and like still hoping and believing that something else is going to happen for us. That, because we did do a lot of traveling and performing. That's how we made our money before it was all over. Even when we all started the record deal, because of everything that happened, we still traveled and did live performances. And that was putting money in the bank for a little while, but then that stopped. And honestly, in between that and American Idol, I slipped into a depression. And people want to, sometimes they don't want to talk about it, and they want to just like, oh, everything was great. Nah, it wasn't great. I was broke. I was driving in my car and listening to my song on 98.7 Kiss FM, and here in New Jersey, New York, Connecticut area, tri-state, and I had no money. So I'm good now, but like when you have to talk, when you talk about it and you think back and you have to remember where you were, it was hard. And I had to swallow a lot of pride, a lot, because our video is still playing on television, our song is still playing on the radio, and I'm interviewing for a job. Because I went to my last dime. So go ahead, Nick, I'm sorry.
No, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I was going to say that it's so true what you went through, what I went through. It's a typical story of a lot of, groups and artists and what they go through in the very beginning. And this is, it was a part of a naivete because we were very young at the time. We really didn't know much of anything, but we began to grow and learn a little bit more about the industry. So in addition to really not having the income, we also learned more about the industry, and then we began to uncover a lot of stuff during that time that happened, and we was like, oh shoot, like what the heck. And I remember someone tagging me and saying, hey, let me talk to you, like, your contract is not good, and in the midst we're shopping for other deals, we're going after other contracts. And I just remember being presented with like a huge stack of papers that was our new contract, and they were like, okay, you got to sign it. I'm like, I'm not signing that. Like, we need a lawyer. And and I just remember the tug of war that we had back then. Like, do we continue to do this and get in another bad contract, or do we really get a hold of our business? So we were just learning so much after a while. And he is right, you go through a depression. And I just remember saying, when you come into a group, you agree to be exploited, right? Because that's how you make money. But then I said, look, this is my God-given talent. Why is everyone else benefiting from my God-given talent and I'm not? That's a problem, what I mean? So I remember saying to myself, I'm not going to sing anymore. And then when I stopped writing and then I did get pregnant, I said, wait a minute, I can't do this anymore. I have to sing for my children. So I remember singing every day that I was pregnant, especially with my son, because I said, I don't want him coming out knowing what I've been through and, not having that special part of me as a mom. So I started singing every day to my son. And before then, I wouldn't even sing. I wouldn't sing publicly either. I only sang for my family. And then I said, look, we started getting back in touch with the girls. Like, what are we going to do? Like, because we can't be this forever, and sometimes you really have to kind of take a hold of that and fix it. And I believe that at some point we did get over that hump and we did fix it.
It took a while for me to get there. I think within that depressing season, sorry, excuse me, that I was trying to still search for something, and that's when American Idol came about. And American Idol was a big secret to everyone, even my family. And we had to wear this wristband. And I remember trying to hide this wristband. It was like, why are you wearing the same wristband all the time? I didn't even want to ask me, because here I am, number one hit single, traveled the world, and now I'm auditioning on American Idol. Like, I didn't already have this. I was so desperate just to get back in somehow. So if I get back in, we can all get back in one way or another. And American Idol was serious business. Like, it was a series of auditions. It's not what you see on television. It's the backdoor audition, it's the front door audition, and it's the television, and it was crazy. I had to audition for producer after producer before I even got to Randy, Simon, and Paula. Then I made it to Hollywood, and if you watch the video on YouTube, and I'm crying like a big old baby, like, thank you, Jesus! No one understands. Like, you see comments, and they're like, what's wrong with her? She's crazy. Like, they don't understand what happened prior to that, you know, how I would take Tylenol PM just to go to sleep and not wake up to the next morning because I didn't want to deal with the day, you know, of where I am right now. Then I went back to church, and that was it. I never listened to R&B again after that for a long time. It was gospel only. I would not listen to R&B on the radio. I didn't want to make a mistake and hear a song. I wouldn't watch anything that had to do with R&B. Nothing. It was all gospel. And that became my life. So anyway, we're in a new season now, and I came out of that, you know, to God be the glory. I still sing gospel. I still sing publicly. I sing wherever. And R&B is my jam. I listen to R&B all day at home. So I'm glad that I was able to come out of that by the grace of God and still be here and tell you guys about it. Like, there's no shame in my game.
It's like that's a crazy story how y'all lost the name and then y'all had to build yourself back up from being depressed. Is that contract thing ain't no joke, because I'm telling y'all right now, I'm like, I think y'all need Suge Knight.
Yeah.
He would have got y'all out of anything.
Right.
Suge Knight would have did anything to get y'all out of that contract. But it's a blessing that y'all still here, y'all still alive, y'all have families. Everything looks up for y'all. So what do you have anything coming next? Is there anything like in the works?
I'm sorry, I know we're gonna move on, but I just wanted to add something. I did not add that in between all of that, I did get married. I did have 3 children. I have 3 beautiful little girls. They are right now 13, 7, and 4. Unlike Nikki, which I commend her for doing this, I did not tell my children about Divine. I just didn't want to talk about it. I didn't want to bring up those memories when I had them at the time. I didn't want to have to explain why I'm not on TV anymore. I didn't want to just dig all of that stuff up. But I have an auntie. She's my number 1 fan. And she's their auntie and godmother. And they go visit her in Pennsylvania. And she told them everything. I mean, she showed them videos, television shows. So they come home and like, Mommy, what are you? So that's why now I have everything out, because they know all the business now. They don't know really much about the backstory, but they're like, Mommy, you were a star. And, you know, to our children, we still are. So.
And, you know, our family would never let us live it down anyway. Like,
For
you know,
sure.
my family, such a huge support system. Every time we are like in a gathering, they're like, oh, and that's Nikki from Divine. You know, she's famous, you know, that kind of thing. And, you know, for years, you really couldn't go anywhere without somebody recognizing who you were. So that was also a thing. So, our family, like, has, you know, really been behind us 100%, which we appreciate.
As they should.
We're well respected where we're from, you know, and people know who we are and what we stand for, what we're about, what we do. And we can't run from it. So it is what it is.
Is there anything in the works, a reunion plan, anything?
Go ahead, Nick.
Oh my gosh. So yeah. We've been talking about it. Like we've been working on it. It's life gets in the way, you know, it's just this past winter, we were gonna release something, and we just had to like, iron out a few kinks in the song, and we couldn't because COVID happened. Like I had COVID, Tanya got sick, and then there was the traveling, and there was the rioting, and then it was the election, and so much stuff happened. So it was kind of like we didn't even get a chance to really get together the way we wanted to. But it's just not off the table. It is something that we are working on, and we want to do it as an anniversary album because it's been so many years. And we see the groups coming out. Like at first it was like SWV, then 112, then 702, then they're all doing it, and it's like, so why can't we? And some of these guys had a little longer careers, but we were out there pounding the pavement with them. All that time when they were at their heights too, Drew Hill, all of them. So it's like, why not? And I think we're all at a place right now where we can really appreciate where we're from, what we've gone through, and what we need to do, and just have some fun with it, because it really isn't the same as it was back then, and we could be okay with it.
Yeah,
that's good.
And we have some good music. Like I believe that fans would be pleased with the music that we have.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. So y'all ready to hit the streets again? Y'all ready to get back on the road and do?
Well, I'm glad everything is virtual now because we can still do some things this way. Hitting the road and getting back in the streets is something that we can do. It won't be as easy because we do have families, we have little children, but it can definitely be done, and we can make it happen. We can make some things happen for sure to get out there to our fans when the world opens for sure.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Before we do wrap up, I want y'all to tell people how to find y'all on social media. So, whoever wants to go first.
Nikki, you got the handles.
I got it. Oh.
Divine Lately page, Facebook?
We have, Facebook, Divine Lately. We have Divine Lately page. We also have our own individual pages, which is, I go under a lot of different aliases because I get a lot of crazy messages. So Divine Lately, that's the best way to go when it comes to Facebook. And then on Instagram, I'm official Nikki Bratcher on Instagram. Oh no, I changed it. Official Nikki of Divine on Instagram, and Kia.
So on IG, I am Kia Beautifully Made. Okay, Kia Beautifully Made. I encourage fans, come on there. I'm good with it. On Facebook, I'm Kia Siobhan. Kia is my first name. Siobhan is my middle name. Kia Siobhan. I'm public on Facebook. Sometimes I'll make my posts only to friends, but you can find me. Most likely, I'll accept you if I see you coming in. I'm good with it because I really don't have anything to hide. I encourage. Come on, let's chat.
Come on, I don't accept everybody. But what I do have on Facebook is a relationship group. I'm just gonna be honest. I just don't like Facebook is like on steroids with the invites, but like I do have a relationship group because I wrote a book a few years ago, and I started a group which is supposed to be like a self-help group for authors, and then it turned into like a relationship group. So I do have a group, and the group is called Not Wifey Material Book Series. Not Wifey Material Book Series, and it's fun. And we talk about stuff. You have all of those groups that have like thousands and thousands of people. I do have a couple of thousand people, but the conversation is a lot more realistic, and people are a lot more open, with their feelings. It's not none of that made up stuff, So it's real cool. So you can join the group,
I will be joining both of y'all's pages. Absolutely, to keep in touch with y'all. It was an honor to have y'all on the podcast, hearing y'all stories, seeing what y'all was up to now. Y'all are beautiful souls. Kia, you a mess because you can
tell. Excuse my little one.
Tell, like it's the energy. Hello, how are you? I can tell. And Nikki, you tell it like it is. Like you don't give a damn. I can tell. I love it. It
took me a while to get to that because let me tell you, I used to be politically Correct. I had to be presented a certain way and say certain things and didn't really want to hurt people's feelings and offend people. But now I'm like, look, 3 kids, MBA, my own business. I got stuff going on. Like, you can't tell me, not that you can't tell me nothing, but you know what? Now I'm just going to be honest with you. Like, I got to be honest. Like, I'm not going to tell you what you want to hear. People come to me all the time too, because they want to get into the entertainment industry and they're looking for advice and all that stuff. And I'm like, look, either you want to hear what's real or you don't, if you really want me to help you, So I do consult artists,
yes,
and not for free. And
put that out there.
I'm willing to look. Hey, listen, you'll see my work.
Just give you a mess. I just wanted to say before we go that on my page, mostly the reason I encourage people to join, and I mostly accept most of the friends that come on. Mm-hmm. I do stalk your page though. Like, I'm like, who is this? And I'm looking like, oh no, you might be a Trump supporter, but was I supposed to?
I'm saying.
But no, really, I encourage because I usually like to encourage on my page, and I also have a brand that I'm putting together called Mommy Power, and it's just empowering moms and encouraging moms that it's okay. I am now a single mom. I am divorced now. I was married for 12 years, and I'm divorced now, and their dad is active, but still I'm home with these 3 children, and it just ain't easy. So at one point during that time, I lost myself again, and when I found myself and I found like who I was other than a mother, I'm like, yo, we really have power. Like, we have superpowers, and we make stuff happen, that how do we do it? I really can't put my finger on it. It has to be a superpower in us somewhere. So I just want to encourage women and, mothers alike, of all ages, single, widowed, divorced, that it's going to be all right. Don't forget about yourself. Handle your handle, because if you don't handle your handle for you, you can't handle your handle for your kids. Exactly. So that's my thing.
We're good.
Nah, it's so good. I mean, I think I was just finishing up, just talking about mommy power and encouraging our mothers out there in mommy land, and just so we can keep moving, keep striving. And I'm hoping to just have those people come on to my Facebook, my IG, when I put up posts and things like that. Every now and then we need an encouraging word. So yeah, that was really
Kia is being very modest, because in addition to Mommy Power, she has something that's called Incredible Kids, and it's a whole movement, right? So it's a song, but it's also a book series that was inspired by her daughter, her oldest daughter. So she's in the process of developing an entire book series about Incredible Kids, and the song is amazing as well. So that's her mommy power in motion.
Thank you, Nikki.
Mommy power, that's what I'm talking about.
That's her mommy power. And look, so she has this mommy thing going on. So I've been sipping like this whole call, right? You see this glass?
I've been seeing that.
Let me tell you, I'm not an alcoholic, I promise. But Envy is my new line. It's my new line of cocktails. So it's really designed for the sophisticated woman. So it will be on the market very shortly. So really look out for Envy. And if you're in my Facebook group, you'll learn a lot more about it. You'll be able to join some wine tastings and stuff like that. So it'll be pretty cool.
Hey, Nikki, my mommies are going to need that. All right?
Oh my.
Because all mommies need, okay, well, we need some downtime, after we
Good.
Put the kids to bed.
Awesome.
How else are we going to get some more power?
Look, it's just not about us being alone. It's when we're with our girlfriends. It's when we're with our men. What do it's something great to just sip on. So it's really great. A lot of great flavors. You can grab it. I'll be able to ship it right out to you. It's it's coming soon.
Awesome. Can't wait to see that. Like I said, I'm gonna join all y'all's Facebook groups, every last one of them.
Cool.
Nikki, all your aliases that you got out there, I'm gonna follow all those pages. You got more names than Puff Daddy. I don't know what's going on.
I do. I'm like, oh my, I do. But you know, it's like you get some weird, like people be in my inbox, you know, saying all kinds of stuff. You know, and it's not really like they're trying to get with me, but they just be saying all kinds of
we have them out there.
I can't with this.
They're out there for sure.
I can't with this spam. But my information is public though. Like you can find my email address, you can find my number because it is attached to my pages. But you know, sometimes I just get some weirdos, and I'm just, you know.
We do have to be safe.
I changed my alias.
We do have to be safe for sure.
This has been the Love to Laugh podcast.
Thank you,
My name is Marlon Ballard. I've been joined by Nikki Bratcher and Kia Miller, and they have been excellent. They have been
Thank you.
Like they're still beautiful. Voices are still there, definitely. So make sure y'all check them out. Follow them. Follow Kia and follow Nikki on all 80 of her pages. Thank y'all so much for tuning in to the Love to Laugh podcast. This is Marlon Ballard. We are out.